My name is Carolina Vallejo. I'm executive producer of Marshmallow Laser Fist, and we are the artist studio responsible of creating the content for the Digital Experience Museum in Ephesus. Working in collaboration with partners from Ephesus, archaeologists, architects and designers from Atelier Bruckner and Astel to create an experience that was all-encompassing and immersive for the new audiences, the audiences of the future. We are hoping that this experience is giving you a sense of what was it like to be at Ephesus throughout different moments of the history of this wonderful city that is no longer with us, but we only have the beautiful ruins that we can walk through. The museum is done with 3 rooms, 3 immersive experiences. In each room, we are showing different bits of content that explore the ideas of the city from the mythology and from what we know as fact in the archaeological research that has been done during the last century in this area. Each one of the rooms will have unique experience. The content that you will see will be displayed and explored in different ways. There will be moments in you will see how people lived in the terrace house. There will be moments in you will be witnessing the birth of the city and Artemis coming to life. And there will be moments in which you will see what happened after the earthquakes and the fires, and you will understand that Artemis is still very much a presence, that it is protecting the city and is belonging to the culture and the heritage of the world in here. The process of creating this content was really interesting. We collaborated with a bunch of disciplines. As I mentioned before, we had archaeologists researching, we had connections with architects, with designers. When we were brought into the project, where there was already a seed of an idea and of a concept, we collaborated with Atelier Bruckner and Astel to bring that idea a bit more to life and shape it in a way that had a bit more of dramaturgy. So we collaborated with writers, with theater designers, with sound artists and musicians to create sound, visual and immersive experience that will give you that sense of life in different moments throughout history. It is a fantastic way of finishing your tour in the city, because you are seeing how all of those monuments and all of these bits of history that you just visited can come to life. You will be able to see scenes from the market, scenes from the street, scenes from the circus, and all of that is coming together with beautiful narration, with voiceover by very famous actors in each one of the languages, and with a really thorough and well-designed sound experience that also has Turkish composers and British composers that are doing custom-made compositions for the film. We started work in 2022 in October, and we joined a team that had been already in place with Astel and Atelier Bruckner, where they were already researching and gathering together all the data from archaeologists and historians of what was important and beautiful about the history of Ephesus. Once we joined in, we brought with us a dramaturgist and a writer, and we started exploring what were the key aspects of the city of Ephesus that we could make into an engaging visual experience that will not only be mesmerizing artistically, but that could let the visitors understand and know what it was to live in Ephesus at different points in its history. The way we decided to approach this was to combine mythology and reality, facts that we know from history and archaeology, and try to create an experience that would allow visitors to feel that they could understand what the Ephesians felt. So if they were believing in Artemis, they would be understanding that fervor and that passion. And if they were witnessing the battle between Christianity and the traditional gods, they will also understand that tension and be part of the history itself. We did this by utilizing different animation techniques. We explored the mythical elements with more particle systems that were more ethereal throughout a series of traditional animation with VFX effects using Houdini and other type of programs, and representing the more real facts with a more concrete type of animation. And we combine those techniques into multifaceted narration that includes a very thorough research on sound and specialization of sound and sound effect, as well as dramaturgy. We have moments in which you have haze, you have lighting coming in. There are different aspects that will enhance the experience and make visitors feel all of the sensations that were meant to be happening in a certain place. Throughout the rooms, you will explore the birth of Ephesus, how Artemis was born or bringing to life all of the city, and how the temple was created and she protected the temple. You will experience what arriving to the city was from the harbor, from the sea. You will see what was the life in the terrace house like. You can see even little cats going around, and you will end up the rooms exploring what was or what is important about that feeling of Artemis. What is that legend that keeps living and is giving meaning to a lot of the cultures around the world. We explored also different techniques when we were working with this because we were working remotely and with teams from all over the world. We had to reproduce the whole rooms in VR. So we use VR quite heavily as a way of testing the content and feeling how it was, because the building was not there. It was being built while we were producing the content at the same time. So we were in a constant conversation between the architects and us, updating the models as challenges were surfacing in the ground. And the buildings need to change. We needed to change animation and the models to make sure that everything felt as if it was one. So we did this collaboration with different teams from all over the world, and we were collaborating remotely. So VR became a very important tool for us to work in. We had a virtual model of what the building was that had to respond to the changes and challenges that were on site. So the architects would have to respond to some findings that were on site. We're an archaeological site after all, and shift a little bit the model. And we had to respond to that really quickly, update our 3D model, and with that update all the mapping and the projection mapping of the projections of the animations that we were doing. So VR was a specific tool that we used, and that was key to us, as well as a lot of communication, Zoom, Google Meets, all of the tools that we were now used during the pandemic. It was great to have such a strong connection with teams from different places. And despite some language issues, it was really rewarding to come together and be able to bring something that we all believed in and were so invested in making a success. The installation was a quite amazing and Herculean process where we had teams from Turkey, from all over the world coming in and working for nights and nights and nights on end with very little sleep, trying to get the vision together. We're very proud with what we have achieved, and we do hope that visitors come and enjoy and feel the messages of the city and can understand history in a different way. That is, I think, one of the key aspects of projects like this that are forward-thinking, are futuristic. You are thinking of what technologies can give audiences to understand how life was in the past. What is very exciting about projects like this is that we are exploring new ways of storytelling, new ways of finding what history was, and exploring and understanding and expanding our understanding of this history. We can see and feel and smell how life was in a way that was not possible before, and we were just learning history through either oral methods or written methods. This is a way of bringing all of that history to life, getting immersed on it, being really part of the moment, and starting feeling and understanding in an almost subconscious level what it was to be there. So these tools are giving you a reason to care, a reason to engage, a reason to look further into what history is and was. I think it's a very exciting moment for museums. The fact that this is the first digital museum that is open on an archaeological site in the world is very exciting. We feel really privileged and proud to be able to show our work in here. And it's really a blessing and a fortune, and something that is making us really happy, because we are bringing together all of our expertise and our knowledge in animation and storytelling into a world that we think is meaningful and will bring a powerful message to future generations. When you come to Ephesus, you will come to the Digital Experience Museum and get a sense of what it was to be living and breathing in Ephesus throughout different periods of its history. Once you're out of here, you will be having all of those images in your head and all of those feelings in your head when you will go and explore what is left of the city and the city ruins and the theater and the library and the Arcadian Way and the terrace house. And you will have a different way of engaging with these ruins, because now you have a context. You now understand what it was. You saw how the people were moving. You saw the life in the streets. So when you get to see the ruins, our hope is that you will have a very different understanding of what these ruins are and what the city meant.